Welcome to Soul School and the teachings on Crysticism.
You know that feeling, right? That flash of heat in your chest, that sudden explosive energy that just has to go somewhere? So what do you do with it? Do you bottle it up or do you let it explode? Today we're going to step inside a pretty unique classroom to see how four very different teenagers are trying to answer that exact question. All right, so let's set the scene. Imagine a classroom where you can't hide how you're feeling, because your emotions are literally a visible aura of light around you. A guest speaker, Lady Pink, is visiting to talk about something she calls the soul's heart fire. Now here's the key distinction Lady Pink makes, and it's a big one. This heart fire she's talking about, it's not your ego, it's not your pride, it's not you getting defensive. It's the pure, raw energy of your soul. Think of it as the fuel for every emotion you have, from love all the way to rage. The real lesson here is about learning how to control that burn. And the students, they don't waste any time. They dive right into this really passionate debate that pretty much lays out all the ways we try and, sometimes fail to deal with the intense feelings that life just loves to throw at us. So let's meet our debaters. First up, you've got Evan, the idealist. Then there's Diesel, who's all about trusting your gut. Rev is the fatalist, looking at everything through the lens of karma. And finally, there's Abby, who, well, she's arguing for a much more forceful kind of justice. You've got four totally different philosophies about to crash into each other over one huge problem. Evan kicks things off with this really powerful idea. Positivity just creates more positivity. He says that anger and hate, they're like gunpowder. You get one massive, impressive explosion for a second, and then it's gone. You're left with nothing but smoke. Yeah, Diesel is not buying that at all. For him, holding back that raw, fiery anger is the same thing as just giving up. He thinks evil gets away with everything because good people are too busy being polite instead of getting furious. In his mind, turning the other cheek just means you're going to get hit twice.
Then you've got Rev, who comes at this from a totally different angle. He's thinking about karma. He suggests that the pain you're feeling today might just be an echo from a past life. So the answer isn't to fight back, it's to quietly endure it, pay off that spiritual debt, and hopefully break the cycle for good.
And this is where the whole thing just catches fire. Abby basically grabs Diesel's anger and gives it a target. She drops this totally shocking idea. The way to teach people kindness is through force. I mean, it's this wild concept that you can literally beat a lesson into someone. And it pushes this whole conversation from just talk into really dangerous territory.
And believe me, Abby isn't just talking. She straight up proposes that they should form a vigilante gang to go after bullies. And just like that, what started as a philosophical chat about feelings becomes a blueprint for actual violence.
Diesel is immediately all in, totally ready to finally unleash all that pent-up rage. The tension in the room is just, wow. But this is the moment when Lady Pink, who's been listening this whole time, finally steps in. She offers a third option, a path that isn't about ignoring your fire or letting it burn everything down. She calls it transmutation. And here's the crucial point. You don't get rid of the energy of anger. You can't. But you can change it. You can refine it. You can transform that raw, destructive heat into a steady, warm, sustainable light she calls glow power. This chart just perfectly illustrates the whole idea. See, anger, hate, revenge, these things drain your battery. They leave you totally empty. But kindness, peace, harmony, they actually recharge you. They're like a renewable power source for your soul. Transmutation is the art of turning the junk fuel on the left into the high-octane power on the right.
So naturally, Evan asks the question we're all thinking. Okay, but how do we actually do that? And in response, Lady Pink gives them this incredible metaphor to help them, and us, see exactly how to manage our own inner fire. She tells them to picture their emotions like a campfire. When you're at peace, it's a small, steady flame giving off warmth. If you're afraid, it's like a smoky, choked fire that's starved for air. But anger? That's a roaring, out-of-control bonfire. And vengeance? That's when the fire leaps out of the pit and threatens to burn down the entire forest. The fuel is the same, it's all fire, but what it does is worlds apart. But here's the first step, and it's a big one. Lady Pink says before you can even start to manage the fire, you have to secure the campsite. She tells them to build a spiritual firewall, a shield of protective light. Why? To
to protect you from what she calls tempters, forces, or even people who feed on negativity and will intentionally try to provoke you just to make your fire rage out of control. And no surprise, each of the students has a totally different idea of what this firewall should be. Diesel trusts the system. Rev thinks of a physical barrier. Abby puts her trust in her faith. And Evan imagines this mystical, self-generated shield. Each one of them has their own kind of defense.
Lady Pink warns them that pride, thinking you're too tough and you don't need any protection, is what leaves you the most vulnerable to these things that drain your energy. And this brings us right back to the central choice here. Do you want a power source that sustains you, or one that just guarantees burnout?
And then Diesel, man, he has this incredibly honest moment. He just admits that after one of his angry explosions, after that quick flash of power, the crash is just devastating. He feels spent, useless, and totally alone. I mean, that is a perfect description of emotional burnout. Lady Pink immediately connects this back to the campfire metaphor. That huge fit of rage, that's like throwing every single piece of firewood you have onto the blaze all at once. Yeah, you get a spectacular inferno for a couple of minutes, and then nothing. You're left in the dark, in the cold, with zero fuel left for whatever comes next.
So what's the tool for managing the flames? Lady Pink says it's actually simple. It's your willpower. It's about realizing that you have the power to choose how you respond instead of just automatically reacting to a trigger. She makes a great point. If you can control your temper around a little kid, that proves you have an internal switch. The real trick is learning to flip it for yourself.
And here it is, the final crucial takeaway. When you run your life on unsustainable emotions like anger, you're creating an energy debt. And once your natural energy is gone, you might find yourself reaching for other things. Caffeine, sugar, whatever, just to keep going, which only digs you into a deeper hole. So at the end of the day, we're left with this question. Your emotions are a fire. It can be a destructive force that burns you out and pushes everyone away, or it can be a source of warmth, of creativity, of light. The choice of how you tend that fire, well, that's entirely up to you.